When I first got to prison, I remember how uncomfortable I was with direct communication. People would just ask really to the point questions, and it kind of made me nervous. And the girls would make things and try to sell them, like whether it's stuffed animals they'd make out of yarn, or they'd buy things on commissary and repurpose it. For example, at the Dublin prison, we had microwaves, and so they'd make popcorn, and then they'd find ways to sweeten it and just go around and try to sell treats, right? And so they'd ask you, are you interested? Do you want to buy a piece of cheesecake? What do you want to buy? And I had a hard time saying no. I mean, in the free world, you're used to like a little kid with the Kool-Aid stand, and you might give him 50 cents and buy a cup of Kool-Aid, right? Well, in prison, that's overwhelming because people don't go away. Like if you buy it once, they're going to come back around and want you to keep buying it. And I remember talking to my counselor and telling him, like, man, people are eating me alive. And he goes, well, have you thought about saying no? And I said, well, I don't want to hurt people's feelings. He said, get over that. He's like, you need to get over that. You're in prison now. You need to just be very direct when you communicate. And so I practiced some of those skills, but it didn't get really solid for me until about 2 years in. And I remember being in Minnesota, and I was talking to a girl. I was at a different prison now, and I was talking to a girl in the rec yard who kind of ran the rec yard. And she was a pretty dominant person, like she'd been down for a long time, 20 years, so kind of intimidating. And she was asking me a question. I don't even remember the question. It was something to do if we were in a program together and if I wanted to participate in something that I didn't want to. And so she asked me, and I said, well, maybe. And she goes, louder, you're in prison. Why don't you just say what you want? And I said, yeah, I don't want to. And she goes, how did that feel? And I go, it actually felt really good. And she goes, yeah, just be direct. She goes, there is no reason for you to worry about how other people feel in here. And that is something that I really appreciate now, because when I drive by a Kool-Aid stand, if I don't want to buy Kool-Aid, I don't. And I learned that in prison.